Hi guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a fun, simple bracelet. So you're going to need some white polymer clay that's been rolled out on the thickest setting of your pasta machine, and then any texture that you like will work for this next step. I'm going to be using this bamboo roller, but really any texture will work. Just coordinate the colours of alcohol ink that you use with the texture. Okay, I'm just going to use a piece of paper to just burnish this down so it makes rolling this easier. There we go. Okay. And then I'll roll. There we go. Okay, then I just cut away any excess clay. I usually use the cutter that I am going to be using for my piece to judge how much I need. Then I'm going to spray a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. The strength really does not matter. And then I'm just going to take my alcohol inks. I'm going to start with my lighter one, which is Meadow. And this is the brand that I'm using. Any brand of alcohol ink will work. You can use pastels as well. You wouldn't spray the isopropyl alcohol if you were using pastels. You could also use mica powders. That's another one you could use. Okay, then I'm going to use some bottle, again, same brand. Okay. And then I'm going to use a little bit of ginger lastly. Just kind of making sure to go in and get those white spots. And the reason I spray the isopropyl alcohol is because it helps the colours kind of spread into one another. Okay. Then I'll just use a brush to just coax some colour at least onto those white areas. I don't want to fuss with this too much. Basically I will pretty much leave it now until it dries. I just want all of those white areas to have some colour on it. It doesn't have to be as dark as the others, but it needs to have some colour. And again, this is the isopropyl alcohol helping with that. Okay, there we go. Then just leave that to dry completely, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, and there we go. It's mostly dried off. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of paper, just going to lay that over the top carefully. I'm not pressing down all that much. Just going in and getting any leftover ink to be lifted up. Okay, then I'm going to grab a heat gun and I'm going to have it on my hottest setting. And this is the heat gun that I'm using, and I've got it on the hottest setting. And I'm going to have it on the level 2. Okay, and I'm just going to sweep over the surface. And I'll just check if that's cured it. There's still some sticky areas, so I might go over it once more. There we go. Don't want to do it too much. Okay. And I'm just pressing down and I can feel that it's baked. So then I'll just bring over that paper again, and this time I'm going to burnish a bit more, just to try to get any other alcohol inks to lift up. Okay, and I'll just lift this up. Okay. Pop that to the side, clean your tile. Okay, I'm just going to take that, pop it on there. And I'm just going to burnish it just to get rid of any leftover excess alcohol ink. I'll bring that back in a minute. And I'm going to bring over a roller, and we're going to start rolling this to get it to crackle. Okay, and I'm going to stop because I can see it there's ink. And I'm going to burnish again. just to get that ink to stick to the paper, because I don't want to make a huge mess, and also because you're rolling it across the surface you'll get ink bleeding into other colours. So just go over and remove that ink. Okay, and I gave the roller a quick clean too, and then I'm just going to roll that again. Maybe stretch it a little bit. I don't want to go too far. It's always difficult knowing how far to go. I think that's good. I'm not going to touch that anymore. Bring a piece of paper and give it a thorough burnish. This is to flatten it out, to smooth it out, and to get rid of any of the lingering ink pieces. Okay. Then I will lift that up like so. I'm going to put that to the side. This over. I'm going to bring over a texture for the back, and I'm just going to use this sponge, and I'm going to press it in by hand. I don't want to be using the roller because I don't want to stretch that crackle out any further than I already have. Okay, and there we go. Then I'm just going to bring over my cutter of choice, and I'm going to cut it crackle side down, and this just produces a cleaner cut. And this is because if you're cutting it crackle side up, because the clay is baked, it will bend in before the cutter can cut it. Whereas if you're cutting it with the baked side down, you're pressing the baked side against the paper, and so you're just getting a cleaner cut. Difficult to explain. I hope that came across correctly, but basically it just comes out with a nice clean cut, like so, you can see. Okay, peel that up. Okay, and I'm just gonna pop these guys out, just because they were on a piece of paper, so they were going to stick in the cutter. There we go. And we still will have a slightly messy edge, so I just like to take a tissue blade. You can just kind of sand or pick this off afterwards. I like to just gently run it around the edges, and those bits come off real quickly and easily. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm just going to take that and I'm going to bring over a cylinder, just because I'm making a bracelet. I do want this to have a curved shape. I'm just going to place that on the cylinder. I'm not going to press it down too hard, just gently rest it on there so that it has a light curved shape, and I'm going to put that in the oven for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature. Okay, and here it is out of the oven. So now we are ready to just quickly pop a little bit of Renaissance wax over the top, and this really is just more to give it a light sheen, more so than seal anything, because that alcohol ink has been baked in there good and proper. You don't really need to worry about sealing that. If it had been applied while the clay was baked, and so the alcohol ink therefore hadn't been baked, then yeah, you would need to seal it. But if it's been baked onto the clay and it's been run into the clay to the degree that it has been, you really don't need to worry about sealing it. Okay, there we go. Just put that to the side, and I'm going to bring over my buffing wheel, and I'm going to give this a quick buff. And there we go. It just gives it a light sheen. Don't want too much more than that. Okay, so I've done the first half. So what you're going to need is some faux suede, and any colour will work. You don't necessarily need faux suede. Any cord that you like will work. I've just cut that, and I have cut it to equal lengths as the other side. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that like that. Then I'm just going to grab these two, well, 4 pieces, and I'm going to pop this wooden bead on. Now this takes a lot of fussing because the hole in the wooden bead's fairly small, but I will end up twisting it on. There we go. Then I'll just yank those cords through. And I'm just going to line that up and pull the wooden bead tight. There we go. Then I will grab a cord end. Just line these guys up, and they should pop through that cord end. This is always finicky. There we go. And squish that closed. Then grab a jump ring and your clasp of choice. Using a toggle clasp. There we go. And there we go, that's your bracelet. Very nice and easy, as you can see. So yeah, that's basically it for the tutorial. I quite like how this one turned out. Of course, you can use different coloured crackles. It doesn't have to be green. You can use different textures. So there's lots of ways that you can vary this technique. You can use different donuts. You can use different colours of clay. So play around and have some fun. So I do hope this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, please let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to support this channel so I can continue putting out videos like this one, please do consider becoming a patron. I have a link to that in the description below. I post monthly videos on there that are exclusive to Patreon, and that are occasionally put up on Etsy, but most of them are exclusive to Patreon. So please do check that out, as I would greatly appreciate that. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.